Kanye West. I want to talk about everything that's going on with Kanye West from a holistic health point of view, from a holistic health practitioner, just making my own observations from all of the information that I have found online that pretty much kind of goes back and it links back to his behavior and his outbursts and everything that's going on with him right now. So if you haven't been paying attention or it's out there in the airwaves, everybody can find it. Where last week he basically was making disparaging comments to Jay-Z's children, in particular their twins, Rumi and Sir. So, with that being said, you don't go around saying disparaging comments about people's children. You don't go and attack innocent children, their children. Okay. So, he was making comments saying about that they were, uh, well, I don't want to say the R word, but it's their special needs and you don't ever see their son, sir, and all this other kind of stuff. Honestly, nobody should be worried about their children. Those are Beyonce and Jay Z's children. Nobody should be worried about their children. I don't know what it is going on with the United States in today's climate or society where people think they have the rights or ownership to other people's children. And it's like, no, you actually don't. Like, leave people's children alone. They have parents, okay? Leave people's kids alone, okay? So it's just kind of, you know, like sometimes, like, well, it just seems like people are trying to normalize it, and it's like that's not normal to think you have some kind of ownership over somebody else's children unless legally somebody has written paperwork or they have designated you as a legal guardian of somebody's children. Other than that, you shouldn't be worried about anybody else's kids. Like, worrying about if something's wrong with them or if they're this or that. They're not your kids. Okay. So with that being said, um, in 2002, Kanye West had a car accident. Okay. In the car accident, he ended up with he had a metal plate put in his face. He had to get his jaw wire shut, and it resulted in him actually coming out with his song Through the Wire back in 2002. So, him going through that whole experience, being in a car accident, he survived a car accident and everything like that. He created the song Through the Wire. You can pull it up, it's all out there on the internet. Okay. So, with that being said, take into account his car accident. Now, mind you, I am not defending anybody. I'm not defending Kanye West or anything like that because I don't like the fact that he is speaking on somebody else's children, like, and then the fact that he had his album come out called Bully. And I'm like, I don't know who's on his team where they decided that it was a good idea for him to come out as a PR stunt, speaking about someone else's children, like portraying himself as a bully. But it's like, yeah, somebody on your team should have caught that. That's not a good idea. And then after that, he also came out dressed in a black Klan's uh, regalia, speaking to academics about other things that was going on. That's just still not a good idea. So it's like I don't know who's on his team where they can't sit him down and explain to him that's not a good idea. Like you need to cut out all these antics and stuff and just get back to doing your music and your albums and creating your clothing and stuff and just full on Kanye West style fashion, and just display his talent in doing those things. But as far as like these little PR stunts and stuff, like this stuff is out of control. It makes no sense at all. It's honestly ridiculous. However, considering Kanye West being totally autonomous, he's independent, he makes all his own decisions, he has all his own everything, he runs everything, okay? So you have to take into account the way that his mind thinks after the car accident. The fact that he could possibly have a traumatic brain injury that has gone undiagnosed, hasn't been getting a proper treatment for it or anything like that. And then he has all these outbursts and these episodes and everything like that. And it can possibly contributed to the fact he has a untreated traumatic brain injury because of his car accident. Okay. So it's like I said, I don't know who's on his team. I don't know who his doctors are or any kind of therapist or anything, but they need to sit Kanye West down and give him a proper prognosis, diagnosis. They need to evaluate him. I mean, and seriously evaluate him to see if this, if Kanye is not, if he has a traumatic brain injury because of the car accident. Okay. All this stuff that's going on. Oh, he is a 5150. Oh, he's psychotic. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. It could just be the fact that he has an undiagnosed or misdiagnosed TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. Okay. So I just pulled it up. I'm just gonna go through and read some of the stuff. So um, in October 2002, Kanye West was involved in a near fatal car accident after falling asleep at the wheel while driving home from a recording session in Los Angeles, resulting in a shattered jaw and the song "Through the Wire," which he wrote and recorded with his jaw wired shut. So the injuries that happened, they said he suffered a shattered jaw in three places, required emergency surgery where a metal plate was put in his chin and his mouth was wired shut for over a month. The other driver in the accident broke his legs. Okay, so they already had the song. We already mentioned that. And then it was sampled from Shaka Khan's "Through the Fire," which he sampled Shaka Khan's song that he made "Through the Wire." Um, so that's pretty much that on there because it's just repeating the same thing over and over. Okay, so considering that from 2002 and now it's 2025, that's 23 years ago. Okay, so the long term effects of a traumatic brain injury, brain damage, and like I said, you can pull it up. If you want to double check what I'm saying, you can pull it up. It's out there, it's on the internet. Traumatic brain damage sustained in a car accident can lead to a wide range of long term effects, including cognitive impairments, physical disabilities, and emotional behavioral changes. Clearly he has behavioral emotional and behavioral changes. Okay, potentially impacting daily life, work, in his relationships. That is a point blank period. That is clearly what's going on. Okay, work life, everything that goes on his work life, everything that you've seen him, from him being married to Bianca Censori, for him to be married from Kim Kardashian, all the stuff that was going on with him and Kim Kardashian that was going through the divorce. Now him and Bianca Censori are going through the divorce. The stuff that's going on with him and Amber Rose long time ago. He has a lot of issues with his relationships. He likes to take control of the women and make them their muse, make them his muse. You dress him up, change him, all this other kind of stuff. Next thing you know, boom, he's done, he's gone. He don't want him no more or whatever. And then also he lost his mom. His mom passed away because of a surgery that she had the surgery, and then during the recuperation process, during the healing process, she ended up passing away. So also dealing with that. Uh, so the cognitive impairments would be memory loss, difficulty remembering events, names, new information, difficulty problem solving and decision making. Okay, with this whole PR stunt going on with this new album that came out called Bully, like there's clearly some kind of issues with problem solving and decision making, because that was just not a good decision to make. That just wasn't a good decision to make as far as coming out with that PR stunt, portraying yourself as a bully, and then you're bullying children. Number one. Number two, the amount of people that take their lives because of cyber bullying, and then you're bullying innocent people through the internet. Clearly is cyber bullying. Like that's just not a good idea. That just wasn't a good idea at all. Okay, so the decision making, brain damage can impair the ability to think clearly, make sound judgments, and solve problems effectively. Reduce attention span and concentration. Okay, individuals may struggle to focus and maintain attention for extended periods of time. Language difficulties, problems with speaking, understanding, or finding the right words can arise. As far as the terminology in the words that he was using in that whole string of tweets that he put out last week. Uh, Executive functioning deficits. Damage to the frontal lobes can lead to difficulties planning, organizing, and completing tasks. Physical disabilities, motor problems, difficulty with movement, coordination, balance, and fine motor skills. Sensory problems, changes in vision, hearing, touch, or other senses are possible. Seizures, Any head trauma can increase the risk of developing seizures, which can occur immediately after the injury or years later. Okay. Paralysis or weakness, depending on the severity of the location of the brain damage, paralysis or weakness in the limbs can occur. Fatigue, persistent fatigue can be significant long term effects of the brain injury. Emotional and behavioral changes, mood swings, and irritability. Okay. Clearly, mood swings and, and irritability. Brain damage can lead to changes in mood, making individuals more prone to irritability, anger, and frustration. Okay. Depression and anxiety. He always talks about how he's depressed, he's anxious, he's depressed, and he mentions that a lot. Okay. Post traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety are common mental health challenges following a brain injury. Personality changes, alterations in personality, such as increased impulsivity, social withdrawal, or loss of empathy, can occur. Okay. Social difficulties. Um, Individuals may struggle with social interactions, understanding social cues, or forming and maintaining relationships. Okay. Social difficulties. I'm telling you, he is showing signs of a latent or late term or long term effects of a traumatic brain injury. And he's been misdiagnosed or just haven't been treated for it or anything like that. Okay, so other potential complications is a chronic headaches, dizziness and vertigo, and which that is balance problems or dizziness can occur, making everyday activities challenging. Sleep disturbances. A lot of times, a couple times he's mentioned he hasn't been asleep. A lot of celebrities they do not sleep well. They just don't sleep. I don't know how they create or how they do what they do, and they are running on like little to no sleep. Okay, they do not sleep. I don't see how these people are functioning, and they don't sleep. It's CTE. Either if he doesn't have TBI, which is traumatic brain injury, he possibly could have CTE, which is chronic traumatic encephalopathy. A lot of football players, a lot of athletes, a lot of football players, they have CTE. Okay, and it comes from trauma, being being smashed into, or being crushed into, or you hitting or having some kind of heavy impact that is traumatic, and it can cause problems with the brain and long-term effects. Okay, and it's because, like I said, Kanye West, he had a car accident in 2002. It is 2025. It's 23 years ago, so he still possibly have issues with this car accident because it was a near fatal car accident, and he almost lost his life in this car accident. So with CTE, a progressive neurological disorder with symptoms that may include problems with thinking, understanding, and communicating. Okay, he showed that last week. Movement disorders, problem with impulse control, and depression, confusion, and irritability. Okay, so I just wanted to just go over that in his video because oftentimes in the Black community, a lot of people like to dismiss somebody and saying, "Oh, they're crazy," or "Oh, they're this or that," da 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 da, whatever, and they never go to try to figure out what could be a real cause as the reason why this person is acting like this. Like a lot of times we just kind of overlook it. We don't even discuss real issues in the Black community. So, like I said, I'm not defending Kanye West or anything like that. I don't like the way he did Beyonce and Jay Z's children. They're children, they're small, they're innocent children. You have no business saying anything like that about any kids. But Kanye West needs to go and get some proper medication. He needs some cognitive behavioral therapy, some extensive CBT to help him with his issues so that way he can able to cope and live his life accordingly without having to go around and having all these sudden outbursts and irritable and mad and upset, anxious, depression, and all this other kind of stuff. And then people just keep dismissing and writing it off like, oh, he crazy, he just having another episode when he could actually have it under control if he was properly diagnosed with possibly TBI or CTE. So if you have any questions about anything, leave it in the comments and I will catch you in the next one.